Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. And in today's video, we're going to be previewing this weekend's Premier League fixtures that happened over the weekend. Of course, there's one more game to kick off this evening, Monday night football clash that will be happening. But nevertheless, we'll go through this week's games that happened over the weekend. We'll start off with Arsenal versus Newcastle. Arsenal beating Newcastle in the end 2-1. Of course, it was a dramatic last minute winner in the 96th minute. Arsenal took the lead early on, but Arsenal definitely fought back in that game. I think around the 80th minute, they equalized with Moreno. And then just as we thought that it would have been a points apiece game, then Gabriel scored the header goal to ultimately seal the victory for Arsenal. That header, of course, came from a corner, from a set piece play. Arsenal were quite happy with that result that happened. So yeah, I think it was a good win for Arsenal. But more to talk about Arsenal later on in the video. Then we'll jump off into the next game, Crystal Palace versus Liverpool. This match really upset Liverpool and Liverpool fans. I'm sure they would have seen this one coming against Crystal Palace. I also mentioned it in my previous video that Crystal Palace will definitely put up a fight in this game, and they really did put up a fight in this game. It was a perfect start um, for Crystal Palace. I think they were really compact in the midfield and defensively as well. I think they were really good. I think in the first half they could have really killed the game. I think there was about two or three chances that they missed. They could really make this a 3-0 by half time. So Crystal Palace performance really spoke for itself as well. They pulled off a 2-1 win at Selhurst Park. I always said that, these small stadiums, very tricky places to play at. Selhurst Park, the Vitality Stadium over at Bournemouth Stadium, very, very, very tricky places to play at. Of course, Ismail Sarr gave Crystal Palace the lead. Liverpool hit late with the equalizer by Federico Chiesa. I don't know, in that build up to the goal, there was a handball suspectedly by Salah. I don't know. Let me know what you think about that incident that happened to the build up of that equalizer of Federico Chiesa. Then of course Eddie Nketiah fired in the winner. I think he chested the ball perfectly, hit it on his left foot through the legs of Ellison, which really upset Liverpool fans. It also sent some shockwaves. And at the end of the day, that's the end of Liverpool's unbeaten run this season. I think that they really started strong. And I still think that they are also in a pretty decent decent position, of course, top of the table still at this moment. But like I said in my previous videos, these late winner goals is really becoming a trend in the Premier League, where teams are finishing games off late. Look, at the end of the day, it's good for the team showing some, real grit and determination to get a result out of the game, even though the game might seem lost. It shows good team spirit of the teams, but eventually the teams won't be able to come back from behind, or they won't be able to finish off in the last minutes. So of course Liverpool dropped some crucial points there, while Palace proved once again that they can mix with the very best. I mean, you've seen what happened last season. Of course, they won the FA Cup as well. So they are pretty high on confidence as well, especially with this win now over Liverpool. So yeah, I'm actually intrigued to see how Crystal Palace season turns out. They are sitting third on the table. So yeah, let's see what happens. Then of course another big upset, Chelsea versus Brighton over at Stamford Bridge. Again, Chelsea struggles continues with a loss, a 3-1 loss to Brighton. And Chelsea actually went ahead, but again, another red card swung the game. And Brighton punished them with two late goals to seal the win. And then, of course, Chelsea, it's another frustrating night for them. The season, they not really looking so stable. I mean, it's back-to-back losses for them. Last week against Manchester United, they lost, and again this weekend. And like I said, just as much as winning can become a habit, Losing can also become a habit as well. So it's another big statement for Brighton as well, showing that they can really match up against the top six times. I mean, Brighton also beat Man City earlier on in the season. Earlier on, of course, yeah, earlier on in the season. So yeah, they're looking like potential contenders for Europe. Brighton alongside Crystal Palace. I don't know. Do you think that there will be ever a Premier League finish where there's mostly mid-team tables, or is the swing happening where this so-called top six teams are now falling behind with the pack? I mean, you see what's happening to Manchester United. Tottenham are a little bit inconsistent as well. Chelsea also. Is this a swing for the Premier League where we now see the rise of the midfield or mid-table teams as well? I don't know. Let me know what you think on that one. Then, of course, Manchester City versus Burnley um, was never going to be an easy game for for Burnley, especially with Manchester City at home. A 5-1 win for Manchester City just showed how dangerous Manchester City is still. Haaland scoring two goals. And of course, City dominated the game from the get go. I think that one goal that Burnley scored happened on transition on the counter thing, because at the end of the day, the only way you're going to beat Manchester City is basically on the counter attack and set pieces, because we know pound for pound, their team and their players are so good on the ball that they really smother teams, but can also be their downfall or to their detriment as well, because when you have so much ball possession and you smother teams in their own half, um you kind of like digging a hole for yourself in a way, because these teams are not giving up any space. They sitting 5-5-1 at the back, so it's really hard for Man City to break down low block teams. And this is what most teams do against Man City. They sit back in a low block, or let me say, at least most mid-team tables sit back in a low block. Low block. There's a very few teams that's still brave, that will still go pound for pound against Man City. But I don't know. Pep really changed things, or starting to change things in his system, in the way he plays. And I don't know. Let's see what happens, how this will all pan out for Manchester City in the end. Then, of course, we move on to Manchester United versus Brentford. Finally, Manchester United fans, you might want to look away on this one. Uh, 3-1 home defeat to Brentford has left some real question marks on that Manchester United team, and also on Ruben Amorim as a manager. Um, United again missed a penalty. Bruno missed a penalty. Lacked intensity in that game as well, and Brentford really punished them. They were very clinical. I think that last goal, where the ball came from the midfield, that was lobbed over Mbuemo, and then played the pass through to the striker or to the forward. Um, I don't know. That was really a fantastic goal and a fantastic gameplay. So yeah, I don't know. Manchester United, they're really struggling at this point. Who knows what will happen this season? Is this gonna stay the same for Manchester United, or will they luck turn? Will they eat the corner and maybe turn things around before before the before the winter transfer window opens? I do think that if Manchester United continue the way they are continuing and things stay the same, um, come the winter transfer window opens, I do think that Ruben Amorim will be sacked by then if they don't change things, or getting some wins under their belt and picking up some points, climbing the table. But then the real question is, who is there to replace Ruben Amorim? I don't know. Let me know in the comment section. What do you think? Do you think he will be sacked? And also, who will be replacing him as well, come the of the end of the season, or come the winter transfer window? So yeah, that's my take on this week's Premier League fixtures or results. I know that it was only a few games that we went through, but I think those were the highlights of this weekend: the Liverpool defeat, the Arsenal late winner, the Manchester United defeat, and as well as the win for Manchester City. At the moment, the table still looks good for Manchester City from a Manchester City's fans perspective. I think that we're only 5 points behind Liverpool. We still need to play Liverpool home and away. Um, but I don't know. Let's see what happens. What happens later down in the season. Also, in the comment section, let me know what you think of this Manchester United team. Do you think that they will really push on and turn the corner and find some wins, or do you think that I don't know? It's maybe the end of their dynasty, if I can put it that way. I don't personally think so. Um, but somewhere somehow there's that changes need to happen at that club. I don't know. Is it the managers or the players? Or I don't know. Let me know in the comment section what you think. And that's this week's video. Of course, we will be reviewing the Champions League fixtures that will be happening this week, as well as the Premier League preview that will be happening later on in the week. So I'll check you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Share the video if you can or if you want to. And peace out. I'll check you out in the next one.